All right, I'm going to do something a little bit different today. With the football season right around the corner, the Hall of Fame game is Thursday. It's currently Monday. I feel that it's time to ramp things back up on this channel to prepare for the season ahead and all the fun videos I plan on making during this season. And every video I've made so far that pertains to the Dolphins has either had to do with the future, a game coming up, a series of games coming up, or the present, a game that just happened, or, staying in the same season. Well, this is where it's going to get different today. I'm going to go back to the past for the first time on this channel, and I'm going to rank every Dolphin quarterback that has started a game since the retirement of Dan Marino from 25 to 1. There's been 25 quarterbacks that have started a game for the Dolphins since 2000 when Dan Marino retired up until now, where currently we are sitting with Tua Tagovailoa, who was just extended for 4 more years through the 28th season. So let's do that, because when Dan Marino retired, I was 2 years old. Or something like that. I don't know. I was born in 98. He either retired in 99 or 2000. I don't know. But basically, I wasn't conscious to witness Dan Marino. All I know is highlights and folk tales about how great he was. I didn't get to witness it myself. All I've been able to witness is the disaster since then. With that being said, the past 4 years or so, they've been good. I'm generally happy with where the franchise is currently. But other than this past 4 years, it's been pretty much all losing my entire childhood and into most of my adulthood. So let's rank these quarterbacks, huh? Starting with number 25. In my opinion, the worst quarterback on this list, it's Daunte Culpepper. And if you're wondering, how do you know about the teams of the early 2000s? You were like 4 or 3. And to answer that question is, I don't 100%, but I did my research. I looked at all the stats, and I watched the highlights of every single Dolphins game from the year of 2000 up until like 2006, when I became conscious and somewhat aware of who was playing. So I know my shit. But Daunte Culpepper is in last place. He had 2 touchdowns in 2006. Nothing more than that. He was extremely hyped up. He was supposed to be the guy. He did nothing. So that's why he's at 25. Complete waste of time. And that leads us into number 24, Trent Green. And he had 5 touchdowns in that great season in 2007. Didn't collect any wins for the Dolphins, and, that's Trent Green for you. I remember using him in Madden and NFL Tour of all games. Don't remember a lot about Trent Green. I know he played for the Chiefs. So that gets us to number 23, John Beck. I remember because he played a game in Buffalo and stunk it up in 2007. He had 1 touchdown that season. No idea what game that was from. And, John Beck, number 23. Moving on to number 22, we've got Ray Lucas. Listen, these first 4 or 5 guys, they're absolute randoms. Not many people are going to remember them, including Ray Lucas. He had 4 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in 2002, and that's it. So that's it for Ray Lucas. At number 21, we have Damon Howard, or Hurd. I don't know, it's Huard. I don't remember a goddamn thing about this guy. He had 9 touchdowns in 3 years between 1998 and 2000. Listen, if any of you remember this guy, that's great. I didn't even see him in any highlights. No idea. So that's Damon Howard, or Hurd. All right, now here are the guys that mostly I know. We're getting into familiar territory. Number 20, we have Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen played a couple games in 2019 and did absolutely nothing. I can't think of a single good thing that Josh Rosen did. I remember him having one long touchdown against the Chargers. That's it. Sip of the green tea. Yeah, Josh Rosen. At number 19, we got Skylar Thompson. He's still on this team. All right, he played a playoff game in 2022 and got us there while scoring absolutely 0 touchdowns in that game against the Jets. But Skylar Thompson, he's at 19 just because he hasn't won anything. I can't think of a single game that he assisted in winning. You could say that Jet game from 2021 or 2022, I mean, but, 0 touchdowns. At number 18, we got Brian Greasy. He is related to Bob Greasy. He had 5 touchdowns in 2003 and is the son of Bob Greasy. That's the only reason that he's at number 18 is because he is the son of Bob Greasy. So, number 17, we've got Teddy Bongwater. 4 touchdowns in 2021. Teddy Bongwater. It was 22, excuse me. He played with Skylar Thompson. But, yeah, Teddy Bongwater didn't win us a single game while he was starting, which is why he ends up behind Jacoby Brissett at number 16. Because Brissett at least won that Texans game in 2021 and technically started that Ravens game, although we all know that was Tua's W. But, Jacoby Brissett, a little more success than Teddy Bongwater, as I like to call him. At number 15, Sage Rosenfels. He had 7 touchdowns and 6 interceptions between 2003 and 2005, Sage Rosenfels. I have nothing else to say about this guy. Don't remember a goddamn thing. Number 14, we got Brock Osweiler. I feel like a lot of people don't even remember that Brock Osweiler played for the Dolphins, but he did in 2018 and actually started quite a few games after Tannehill got hurt. So Brock Osweiler, and he's up here because of that Chicago game. You remember where Albert Wilson fucking went off? He had those 2 long touchdowns. Dolphins won in overtime after Kenyon Drake fumbled in the red zone. We were at the 1-yard line about to win the game. Kenyon Drake fumbles the ball, and the Dolphins end up getting it back and winning in overtime anyway. So Brock Osweiler, thank you for that. At number 13, we got Gus Frerotte. He had 18 touchdowns and 13 picks in 2005. That's not terrible. By Dolphin standards for the past 20-something years, that's fine. 18 tuds, 13 picks, we'll take that. Anyway, at number 12, we got A.J. Feely. He had 11 touchdowns in 2004. Why is he up here? I don't know. I just like the name A.J. Feely, and I liked using him in Madden. He wasn't terrible. So, A.J. Feely. At number 11, we got Joey Harrington, who had 12 touchdowns as a Dolphin. More importantly, that Thanksgiving W in Detroit in 2006, which was a revenge game for him. Joey Harrington, he's up here at number 11, but he doesn't crack the top 10. The Dolphin Legends. Are y'all ready to hear these Dolphin Legends? Because I'm ready to ring them off to you. The top 10 quarterbacks since the departure of the great Dan Marino. Starting at number 10, we've got Tyler Thigpen. Tyler Thigpen was a third-string quarterback for the most part, but in 2010, he had to hop in there a couple times when Chad Pennington, he won his starting job back, and they played the Titans. Randy Moss's first start as a Titan. Why am I so autistic and remember all this shit? Anyway, Pennington got hurt and Henny got hurt, and then Tyler Thigpen came in and threw a touchdown to Anthony Fasano to win that football game, which is why he gets number 10. Listen, not a lot of quarterbacks win football games for the Miami Dolphins. Tyler Thigpen helped us win one, and the next week went out and the Dolphins got shut out. But he did end up coming back. He played a game against Pittsburgh as well, and I remember him. He was the kind of quarterback that he just threw that bitch up. It either got picked or caught. He didn't give a fuck. Tyler Thigpen also played for the Chiefs as well. At number 9, they're sucking on a lemon. Cleo Lemon in 2007, that overtime win versus the Ravens. I still remember it. It's caught by Camarillo. It's a foot race with Winberg. Miami has won. Miami has won. I know everyone that has been a Dolphins fan since then remembers that call and watched it over and over. I watched it over and over when I was a kid because I was so excited that my favorite team had won a football game, and that was Cleo Lemon. So thank you, Cleo Lemon, for that, and because of that, you're number 9. At number 8, we got smoking fucking Jay Cutler. And, he did have 19 touchdowns in 2017 and won against the New England Patriots on Monday Night Football, throwing that absolute beauty to Jakeem Grant. Jarvis Landry was the recipient of a touchdown that game. But that's not why he's on this list. He is on this list because of a great folktale from when Jay Cutler was at Vanderbilt as their quarterback, where he was at a bar and he was taking a piss in a stall, and some super fan came up next to him and was like, "Dude, are you Jay Cutler, man? Dude, I'm such a huge fan, man." And Jay Cutler glares at this man, looks him dead in the eyes, and he goes, "Don't care," and walks off. And listen, that is why he is in the top 10. I fucking love Jay Cutler. I love a guy who doesn't give a fuck, which is why Jay Cutler is at number 8 on this list. But he couldn't crack the other Jay. That's right, we're blowing Jays back to back. Wait a minute. That didn't come out the way I intended. But number 7, Jay Fiedler. He had 66 touchdowns between 2000 and 2004. He threw a shit ton of picks, but also that's a pretty decent amount of touchdowns. And the only thing I remember is him getting that win against the Raiders where he ran it in there. And yeah, that's pretty much all I remember about Jay Fiedler. But he had a pretty long career. I mean, 4 years as the starter. That way exceeds the average for Dolphin quarterbacks. So Jay Fiedler, number 7. At number 6, we got Chad Pennington. He won us the AFC East in 2008, and we haven't won goddamn shit since. But Chad Pennington, he was a pretty damn good quarterback. He got hurt after that, so he really only got that one season where we went 11-5, and Chad Pennington, he had a really good year. That last game against the Jets, I could still remember because he was the Jet quarterback for many years, and he got to win the AFC East in the Meadowlands at Giants Stadium against his former team, 24-17. So that was cool. Chad Pennington, number 6. At number 5, I love a man with heart. I love a man with soul. And that is Ryan Fitzpatrick. That 2019 season, the Dolphins were talked about as the worst team ever. Not the worst team that season, the worst team ever. And Ryan Fitzpatrick willed that team to 5 motherfucking wins, including that end of the season win in New England, where New England ended up losing home field advantage because of that, possibly being the reason the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. If you ask me, Fitz should have a ring just for that. But Ryan Fitzpatrick, the leading rusher of that team, Man, that guy had fucking soul, man. And then he played a few games in 2020, but they ended up kicking him to the curb. At number 4, we got another Chad. It's Chad Henne. And why would Chad Henne be above Pennington? It's longevity, man. He had 33 touchdowns in his career with the Dolphins. Also ended up with a ring with the Chiefs as a backup to Patrick Mahomes, of course. But yes, Chad Henne had 33 touchdowns and was the starter for the Dolphins for a few years there. So there's Chad Henne. Also had quite a few good wins in there. You remember that Jets game in 2009 when he was a rookie? Monday Night Football? That long ball to Ted Ginn Jr. right over Darrelle Revis? Absolute beauty. Chad Henne had a cannon of an arm. He didn't know what to do with it. He had a fucking 10-inch cock, had no idea what to do with it. He just fucking smack it up and down, and wherever he shot his load is where the load shot. And sometimes that shit got picked off. But yeah, that got a little weird. All right, at number 3, we got Ryan Tannenballs, baby. Ryan Tortellini. Ryan Tannehill. He had 129 touchdowns between 2012 and 2017. Got us to the playoffs once in 2016. Ryan Tannehill, man. There was a chance, there was a time there where it looked like he was going to be the guy for a long time. In that 2016 season, it was like we got our guy, and then he got injured. And then in the offseason of 2017, injured. 2018, injured. Oh, just such a fucking shame what happened to Ryan Tannehill. But then he went to Tennessee and had a decent career there, too. He made a lot of fucking money. All right, so Tannehill's doing all right. Interested to see if he gets another job in the NFL. I still think he's starter caliber. He's a big guy. He's fucking Texas tough. I would take Tannehill as a backup any day of the week. Even a starter, if I had a bad team that was rebuilding. Let him lead a rookie for a year. But Ryan Tannehill, number 23. Not number 23, at number 3. What the fuck? Number 2. Now this is where things are going to get controversial. I'm so sorry. I got to do this. But at number 2, it's Tua Tagovailoa. He has not earned that number 1 spot yet. Maybe if he has another good year this year, Tua will earn that sacred number 1 spot in my book. But to this point, he has 87 touchdowns, and he's made the playoffs twice. And he just got paid. So shout out to Tua Tagovailoa. Obviously, he's fresh in our minds. Came in as a rookie. They tried to sabotage him. Thought Deshaun Watson was coming. Didn't happen. Thought Tom Brady was coming. Didn't happen. Thought he'd retire from concussions. Didn't happen. Tua is still here, and he might earn that number 1 spot after this season. Win a playoff game. He wins a playoff game, gets that number 1 spot. That's my deal with Mr. Tua. But at number 1, the best quarterback since Dan Marino. And I know people will argue this, but it's fucking Matt Moore. Matt Moore was robbed of an opportunity to lead this team. Chill fucking Matt Moore. That dude was chill as fuck. And, you know, he should have started. He should have started instead of Tannehill in 2012. Everyone knows it. And you know what? He had 16 touchdowns the last half of 2011 and finished the season 6-2 after starting off like 0-7 or something. He had that W versus the Jets in 2012 when Tannehill got hurt. He finished off the playoff run in 2016 when Tannehill got hurt. I mean, you remember the last time the Dolphins have won a game in Buffalo? It was Matt fucking Moore in 2016, slinging that fucking thing all over the yard. And that was the game that clinched a playoff appearance for the Dolphins. That was clutch. When is the last time a Dolphins quarterback has performed that clutch on the road in the elements? It was Matt Moore. It was Matt Moore. It's always been Matt Moore. And then in 2017, he came back against that game against the Jets. They were down 2 touchdowns. and that just solidifies it. Matt Moore, number one, the best quarterback since Dan Marino. You could debate me if you want, but it's facts. It's facts in my book, so that's it. I just rambled for so long, my throat hurts, and yeah, football season coming up. All right.
Touchdown, Dolphins.